cursing.
I got a stupid fucking setup. Look, when you spend this much for video game equipment, you'd be stupid not to have fun with it.
Yeah, we just went live.
Yeah, that's a good thing to start on. Looking shitty with his money, the floating space head.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wood. Bunch of unprofessional motherfuckers this morning. No, we're not. We're
-1. I'm very professional.
Yes, he is. and he's sexy.
Yes. Yeah.
So sexy.
Oh, thank you, Pimpmunk. You know I feel the same about you, baby.
I know, I do too, about me. Anyways, we're going to talk about horror movies. The top horror movies, this is according to RottenTomatoes.com. So our
most reputable source for opinions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ours in the South, we say Rotten Maters.
Oh no,
Rotten Maters. Anyways, we're just gonna jump right into it because we got 100 of them, but we probably won't get through all 100. We'll try our best. But the number one is a movie I haven't seen. It's very new, and I think that's why it's at the top. Get Out.
I've seen it. I wouldn't put it in it. Well, it's okay. I mean, it's not like the best, but it's okay.
I guess if you've seen a bunch of old movies and you're looking for something new, it's definitely not something you've seen before. So in that regard, it definitely deserves a higher spot, but I wouldn't say like, yeah, this beats the classics, you know. Psycho. That's just a kid's movie, man.
Now,
watch Get Out.
Didn't this movie win an Academy Award? Or
yeah, I believe it did.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the plot is or anything. I have no fucking clue.
Pimpmunk, that's what makes it good. I'm really sick of trailers. Just tell me the fucking movie. You know what? I like going into a horror movie going, I know it's a horror movie, I think. What is it? You know?
But I have no clue. I have no clue what this fucking thing is. So there you go.
That way you go watch it. You'll enjoy it.
I just know it's a bunch of black folk in it, right?
Well, that's all you need to know, isn't it?
Well, that's the reason I haven't watched it. That's the reason my white ass hasn't watched it yet.
Yeah, damn it.
No,
I see black people.
I see boobs. She's back.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
I'm fired. Yeah, I'm fired.
You're not fired, Gage. I called you Gage too. You're not fired, Gage.
It's like I can go to sleep now.
Yeah, sleep finally.
Look, I was at like 4 a.m. over there.
I have to get ready at 1 a.m. It starts and it's finished by 3. And the sun comes up at about 5, and yeah, I don't sleep anymore.
I pay
Been there, done that. That's a horror movie in and of itself.
I pay you well for this. Shut the fuck up, Red Eye.
Yes. Wait, what?
Yeah. Anyways, the number one movie was Get Out. Have you seen it, Shayra?
Absolutely, I own it. I've seen it a million times. I love it. It's so good.
She likes it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
It's so good. Like, okay, so it's basically taking that trope that is usually great for comedy. You know, they use about going to meet the parents. It's always the most frustrating and scary thing ever anyway. But instead of making it a comedy, they make it a true horror film. And that is, I love it when you take something comedic and make it scary. I love that. It's a great concept.
Now, it's done. Wasn't it written by the comedy dude from that duo?
From Key and Peele, yeah.
It's Peele, right? Or Key?
Yeah, and I can't remember which one it is, but I do know that my favorite tend to start out as comics. For some reason, they could really get into my head and mess with me. So.
Comics are usually the most sadistic motherfuckers on the planet. By the way, we are. We got dark thoughts. So yeah. Anyways, the next one, number 2, we got 100 of them. Like I said, we're gonna try to get through them. We probably won't.
Good luck.
Yeah. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
That is one of my top.
And she finished it for me. Welcome back, Shayra.
You can't say it. You're mispronouncing it. It's
Caligari. I said it.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. Is that an old movie?
It's really old.
Very old.
1920. It's from the 1920s, and the really cool thing is, if you guys like any of Tim Burton's stuff and all the weird worlds he creates, he pretty much got it from that movie. That movie is like German expressionism, so it's got crazy shadows and sets and really creepy characters, great makeup. It's just it
was very different for its time. There was nothing really like it in its time. I've actually seen the motherfucker shavers. So yeah.
Can you say it though? Say it.
Gargoyle.
Say it for her real nice and slow.
I say it correctly. It just sounds like I don't because I'm from the fucking South. Okay.
Enunciate, son. Enunciate the vowel.
I'm from the South. You can suck my dick. I don't care.
Dr. Caligari.
Well, not in certain states that's illegal, but in most you can.
No,
Indeed.
actually, your sister can't hear, but never mind. Anyways. Yeah, it's a very it was very different for its time. There was nothing out like it, and like she said, it uses shadows, and it's very artsy, but very good, very good.
It has a twist at the ending before all the what a twist stuff started coming out. It was way ahead of its time.
Yep. Number 3, Psycho. Yay.
Classic. I know lots of people with mommy issues today, and they always remind me of that movie.
I think the beauty of that movie was it conveyed this horrific thing without actually showing it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the story spoke for itself. The characters acted. You picked it up. They didn't have to show like the knife jabbing into her throat and splitting it open or anything like that. Just the scream and the fact somebody died.
And it lets
and
you
the
use your
person running the
imagination.
hotel's crazy. That's enough. Like, because you can imagine yourself being in a hotel, maybe off the side of the road, and who knows who's running it? You don't know who the hell they are.
And
they
most
got a key to your room.
Yeah, and some of the most horrifying things is our own imagination, right? And
exactly.
He is such a brilliant filmmaker. He knows that, and he lets you use your imagination for what you can see the silhouette getting, and everything. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
And it gets past the censors, so that's always a nice thing. You get to see something that you normally wouldn't be able to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love it, man. The next one, now she's going to say I can't say this one right, too, but probably not. Nosferatu. I can say it, by God.
You got that one.
Yeah, I got it, you bitch.
I like that Nosferatu.
Which Nosferatu? Because there's like...
I'm about to say it. A Sympathy of Horror. Yeah, I have not seen this. This came out in 1922. Very old.
The old Nosferatu, but I hadn't seen
this is a very old one. This is 1922. I have not seen this one.
Yeah, the CGI on that one was a little bit dated.
So that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You can hear you were just talking over you rudely.
No, she actually froze up.
Oh, okay, never mind. It could be both though.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm known to interrupt the fuck out of people. I love doing that shit. It's great. It makes you feel strong.
Go ahead, Shay.
No, it's fine. You have a nice voice, so it works. Nosferatu is just Dracula's story, but they had to change the name because they didn't want to get.
She froze up again.
Oh well, there was the movie monsters like Wolfman, Frankenstein, like Universal bought up all those monster names, so they couldn't call him Dracula. No Draculas over here in our country, so they just went with Nosferatu, which. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Dracula's kind of a dumb name, anyways, when you think about it.
This next one, I don't consider this a horror movie, but I guess some people would. King Kong, 1933.
I can see where it is
Skull Island,
but I don't think so.
Monster. You can put it.
They go to a place called Skull Island. They capture a giant ape that goes on a murderous rampage in the city, whom they have to kill. That's kind of horrific. It's just when you look at the stupid fucking claymation ape these days, it's like, well, not every horror movie is scary. A lot of them are really fucking funny. Like we were talking about Freddy earlier. Like, yeah, the Freddy Krueger movies are scary, but you can't help but to laugh when Freddy just kills somebody in a video game or, injects them full of drugs until they die in their dream or anything like that. It's just great.
Or when Johnny Depp explodes in a bunch of blood into the ceiling.
It just ridiculous amounts of blood, there's 5 human beings worth of blood splattered on the wall, and it doesn't make any sense. It's just okay, you get him, Freddy.
My favorite is all time will be Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. Put your hand on the TV. I love that shit.
God, I love it when Freddy says bitch because it just humanizes him. It's like, yeah, this guy's kind of a dick.
I mean, that is his character. He's an asshole.
There's nothing better than when they cut someone open and it's like hitting a big thing of crude oil and just goes to big gusher.
Then he calls you a bitch after you die, just because he lived with us. He was one of us. He's not just some entity. He's Freddy Krueger. He called people bitch at the supermarket all the time. I guess I don't know. I like it. I love that.
Now I got an image of Freddy Krueger at the supermarket.
Someone stole his parking spot. And he's like, "Fucking bitch."
We're cutting down prices, bitch.
You bumped me with your buggy. Let me get my fucking glove.
He'd be a shithead in the fruit and veg section. He'd just stab everything and see if it was fucking right. These avocados aren't right, bitch. It's like, whoa, Freddy, sorry.
Stabs a watermelon and it shoots juice everywhere across the
Go
to pay for that. Oh, I'm sorry, bitch.
Goes to get the flour. Oh shit. And anyways, Repulsion. I guess I'm saying that right. 1965.
That's a bit out of my age gap. Yeah.
I've watched a lot of old ones, but see now I haven't seen this either, so none of us have seen it. Oh, the next one.
VHS at Blockbuster. So if it wasn't there, it wasn't aired on shitty cable stations. I haven't seen it, unfortunately.
Be kind and rewind.
The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It was brilliant movie. Actually, it was well done.
I laughed, but still, it was good. Come on, Frankenstein has a bride. It's Frankenstein, lonely. Get on Tinder.
It's tender. It's goofy, but it's just really great.
I feel like it makes it into like that the doctor was actually Jordan Peterson, and he's helping the incel get a bride by piecing together
incels. That's the new key word these days, isn't it?
Frankenstein the incel. It's a fun
Yeah.
You gotta have that push, that little word to just shoot at people, but yeah, they should call it like just Inselstein or something like that.
Damn. The next one's a newer one I have not seen, The Babadook.
Oh,
that movie sucks.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Now we gotta fight.
I fucking hate that movie. The Babadook's not fucking scary. The kids aren't scary. It's called the fucking Babadook.
Well, it's not scary. I agree with that, but it was actually a pretty good story.
If you appreciate the story, I can respect that, but I can't take anybody seriously. Says that scared the shit out of me when the painting moved. Never seen that trick before.
No, it wasn't scary whatsoever, but it was like a nice little like descent to madness kind of story. So
okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah. I'd probably beat a dude up and say they got scared by a name called Babadook.
That's true.
Yeah. Babadook sounds like a homeless guy that huffs Jenkum in an alley, not like a monster that comes and gets you.
Yeah.
Well, I
watch
think
out for that Babadook. He's got the Hep C.
I think it was more of a story where
she keeps freezing up.
Oh, she's got we're on unfriended now.
Yeah,
we're all gonna slowly kill ourselves on webcam.
Shy baby, you keep freezing up, dog. We're not walking on you. You keep freezing up.
What's happening? I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. We keep freezing up, and I just didn't want you to think we were walking on you.
Did you happen to make fun of a girl who shat her pants a while back, and did she kill herself because we may be haunted by a Google Hangout spirit?
Dun, dun, dun.
Let me try something.
Okay. Yeah, just try lowering your video quality, or just going to turning your camera off. That might save you.
Yeah, if the internet's killing it, then the videos got you. Unfortunately, yeah. I love streaming when that happens. That's good. They should make a movie.
The next one is a classic, Rosemary's Baby, 1968.
Yes.
Yeah, good ending.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it if anybody hadn't watched. But then again, the movie's so goddamn old.
It came out in 1968. If you fuck spoiling it, you can't.
Yeah, you don't get the spoiler alert, motherfucker.
God is dead.
God is dead.
I love that. That still makes me laugh, but it's scary because it's like, holy shit, what's the implications?
Yeah, it is it's very creepy, man. The whole ending is really creepy.
It leaves it up to your imagination. Like, holy shit, what happens next? It's like, fuck, man, I got to think about this while I go home.
See, that's we mentioned that twice with older movies. It leaves it up to your imagination. A lot of films these days, man, they don't have that skill.
They either don't leave it up to your imagination, or they leave it all up to your imagination, like Paranormal Activity. That's just like, oh god, look, something moved in the kitchen. Holy shit, I'm spooked.
I never thought.
All right, is it? I think because I have two different Wi-Fi connections, and I have a bunch of teenagers in my house playing Fortnite because I don't know if you guys heard, Nintendo has Fortnite now.
Yeah.
So we've got Fortnite craziness going on. So I switched it to a different Wi-Fi. So let me know how this works.
It seems to be doing all right.
Well, they're having a blast, but yeah, it seems like you're doing all right. You're doing good. And if you cut out, we'll let you know. But,
All right, cool.
Next one, Frankenstein, 1931.
Classic.
Yep.
I mean, you know, some of the cinematography doesn't hold up, but I mean, that's so old. How can you like? It's like making fun of the first cartoon ever made. It's like, oh man, line work on this is garbage.
I'm seeing a trend here with me. I've seen a lot of the old ones, but not a lot of the new ones. Because the next one I don't know. It Follows. I don't know that movie.
God,
God, what the fuck?
Do you know it, Cheryl?
Oh, I know
what is it?
It Follows.
It follows. Yeah.
That is fantastic. That's one of my fucking all times. Oh my god,
Okay.
it's a sex demon, dude.
Yeah.
You get killed because you fuck, and there's like a whole game behind it. It's so fucking good, man. Like it's a great coming of age film where you know it gives you so much symbolism of how you deal with your parents and growing up sucks. It's fantastic. That's a great one. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I just said. I'm seeing a trend here. I've seen a lot of older ones, but not a lot of new ones.
So it's a demon that kills people when they have sex. So I would have called the movie Death Boner. That's just me, though.
Good name.
Well, it's the basic premise is, so you have sex with someone who's tainted with the sex demon, I guess you could call it, and basically there is a demon who's dressed in all white or sometimes naked, and they can transform how they look. They can look like a stranger. They can look like your mom. And they basically are slowly walking towards you no matter where you're at. They're slowly walking towards you. If they tag you, you die. And they will sometimes fuck you to death, which one guy got fucked by his mom to death, which is
that was
really
creepy.
mess with me. But I don't know why, but it really fucks you up. And nobody else can see it except for the people who have fucked sex demon people.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a fucked up movie, but it's pretty good.
That sounds twisted. I might give it a watch.
It is really fucked.
I think it's on. Isn't it on Netflix?
It is on Netflix. Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Go watch that later.
I will watch that. I'll give it a watch.
It's good and fucked. And I think the reason why I really like it, the aesthetic of it, you can't tell if it's from the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or today. They like really blend music.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because there's
no.
she got cut out, so I'll just interrupt her. That's a fine point. Like
Drop
if
that
you
again.
see a horror movie, like I don't know, let's just take just a real shit pile, like Jason Goes to Hell. It's like, oh, look at this fucking PlayStation 2 world we've entered. Fantastic. That's great. Couldn't have gone practical with that. Oh god, like they were so excited to use their computers, and then they didn't realize, wait a second, this isn't going to age well. So yeah, when a movie does say, go, hey, let's lay off the bullshit a bit. Maybe don't have a 3D spinning camera around the monster and, all this bullshit in the sky like you got behind me and all that. Maybe just get our hands dirty. Dirt, filth, and grime and effort in horror. That's what makes it scary. When it looks like it was shot out by a computer, it's not very spooky.
Yeah, Sherry, you cut out again. That's
why
I'm sorry. No, it's cool. You totally went where I was going anyway. Also, if you guys aren't already following us, Deadly Analysis podcast, we did do an entire show on It Follows, and I am on that episode. So
cool.
That's cool. Let the Right One In is the next one. 2008. I have seen this. I do believe.
It's a good foreign one.
Yeah, I do believe I've seen this. But
Didn't they do a remake for American too?
They
There
did.
was another one.
Watch the American version. It is so cheesy and horrible CGI, and I hate it.
Is that the one with is a new one? I don't know. I'm gonna blank on this one. It seems like I've seen it, but I'm completely blank on it. So give me a little
whoosh over my head on that one. Somebody else is gonna have to give us a synopsis on that.
Yeah.
So it's basically about a little girl and a little boy, and he's picked on, and she befriends him, but she seems to only come out at night and isn't cold by the snow outside, and
Yes,
I don't know, something weird's going on. And she has this old man who's like a dad figure, but he collects blood for her from random people outside. So what's going on? And you have to figure out the story. And basically his first girlfriend might be a very scary person.
It was based in the 80s, right? The American version, and she was the chick from Kick-Ass, right? I have seen this. Okay, yeah.
The American version sucks. Go see the foreign version; it's way better.
Okay.
The CGI was so bad in the American version. Plus, fake snow in the American version. It was just, it just takes you away from the story because you're constantly looking at the bad effects. So.
Okay.
Why do they got to Americanize a movie like that? It's already in English. I never understood it. Like I do know English. I may mispronounce River Thames and call it the River Thames, but that just pisses off our friends like this new guy over here, Red, I believe.
Yeah, it's like Americans have this habit of taking good shows. We'll use Doctor Who as an example. There is an American-produced Doctor Who movie, and while I watched it and it wasn't horrible, comparing it to the other Doctor Who's, it was like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like you take things, and you did Red Dwarf as well. Like, and I'll just have to say it straight out there. You guys bent Red Dwarf over and fucked it in the butt with a barbed wire dildo, and you didn't even take it out to dinner first.
I refuse to watch that one. I could just tell. I could just fucking tell. It's like, but it doesn't have any of the actors that made it funny.
Yeah.
This is not, I mean, this is good, well written, but without the actors, it's half the show. And also, it doesn't have the writers. So, no, fuck off, please. Fuck off with that shit. Just play the whole episodes on TV. That's what they used to do on PBS, man. You fucking turn on public broadcasting on fucking old television for free. It's like, hey, it's Red Dwarf, and little, like, 8-year-old me's like, what's a rammer?
Yeah, that's it. Arnold Rimmer or Ace.
Number 13 is Aliens, 1980.
Yes,
we all know that one.
Yeah, my mother, I've got to tell this, she went and saw the movie, and my mum's friend said she spent half the movie trying to hide under a seat, and she bought me a graphic novel, the original graphic novel that was spot on to the story. It had the chest bursting scene and everything, and I was 5 when I got that, and I had it for about 5 years before she read it one day, and I never saw it again. It's like, that thing would be worth a fucking fortune. Now, it was an original graphic novel of the Aliens fucking movie. And my mum saw it, and she came home. She said she nearly vomited in the chest hug when the thing went.
And then there's so many.
I'm sorry, but her generation never seen anything quite like that. That's when they were really pushing shit in movies to a new level.
And
Parasites, right? So you first of all, Parasites are terrifying in and of themselves, even without a horror movie context. I mean, you got tapeworms, like a queen chigger gets in you, it can take out your entire leg. Those things scare the fuck out of me. But then when you come up, it's like, yeah, it's this thing that lays an egg in your chest and then busts out, takes your DNA, and kills all of your friends. It's like, oh, whoa. That's pretty fucking spooky. Oh, and it bleeds acid, just because the rest wasn't enough.
Just to really throw a spanner in the works, when you cut this fucker, it bleeds acid and just melts through steel floors, so you can't contain it. Good luck.
My ass bleeds.
Hope you're not on a spaceship or something. That'd probably be the worst place to have one of those things.
Yeah,
that'd be a real shit.
My ass bleeds too, Red. Oh, that is what you said, right?
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
Allegedly.
What do you think about Aliens, Miss Shayra?
Well, it's fantastic, and we did a review of that film as well, and we got a lot of hate from people when I explained that the creator was trying to have guys understand what rape would be like. That was his whole entire intention of doing that.
Well, she cut out again, but I'll go and finish off for her.
Thank you.
Well,
but yeah,
well, if you read a lot of HR or look at a lot of HR Geiger's art, especially some of the stuff he's done for other stuff like a video game called Darkseid, it literally has like a big penis shooting into a guy's brain and shooting a fucking alien into his head.
Yep.
Like the phallic themes of his art are so fucking obvious that if you don't get it, your head through the drywall stupid.
Absolutely. Yep.
And yeah, it's an alien that like shoots an egg down your throat and the baby pops out of you. Like if you can't pick up on why that's supposed to make you uncomfortable as a guy, then I don't know. Go down into a back alley butt naked and let somebody put their alien inside of you and see how you feel.
Good times.
This shit. It starts with a non-consensual mouth hug and then develops into full-blown fucking God knows what. It's just like,
See, this all sounds like good times to me, though.
Yeah.
This is nothing new to the movie, but they actually had a creature in the video game Half-Life that was supposed to knock your glasses off and face fuck you to death. For some reason, though.
Again, good times.
Yeah, it was, and same thing. It was supposed to make teenage boys uncomfortable. That was like Gabe Newell, the guy at Valve. Like he said, yeah, it's supposed to make teenage boys who like the shooter games go, oh my god, I don't like this.
I tend to make teenage boys uncomfortable too.
Hey there, paper boys.
If there is a hell, Pimpmunk will be there.
You want to go to Hogwarts?
Aliens. I do want to say this. I was very young when I seen Aliens for the first time, and it scared the absolute shit out of me, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was a kid, and I was terrified. I was like one of the movies I watched where I could not go to sleep that night. I mean,
I've said a lot because I don't have a lot to say on other movies. But one last point: the soundtrack. It's almost just sound. So I don't have a soundtrack trying to like preemptively scare me.
Yeah,
it's just a fucking spaceship. And you might hear something there, you might hear something there, somebody screams, somebody's freaking out, and it's just the person freaking out. And that's so much better than the
valuable lesson I got from Aliens is if you're gonna go into space, try to be a cat.
Yeah.
The cat seemed to have a fucking easy time. And just every time there was danger, the cat would go, yeah, fuck off, and just it was gone. And safe. Be the cat, people. Be the fucking cat.
Be the cat. Next one.
But, wait, I want to say one more thing. I would like to say that is an example of a movie that does age well, even though it has technology stuff. It looks like it could still exist in a futuristic world for some reason.
It does. Very good point. Good point.
They shot the man in the suit just right. He looks ridiculous in a full body shot, but it still has one ooga booga boo moment in it that I can't unsee because it just sticks in my head. It's like, oh, come on. Why has he got to go ooga booga at you? But that's just one scene out of the entire movie. The rest of it's really well shot as far as the guy in the aliens. I think he's like 7 feet tall. So they made sure to get the most gangly, tall guy they could have put into the suit. So it already looks weird enough, right? So it's like, just get him vertical and try not to show like the whole thing standing up if you can avoid it. And that's good.
And the animatronics too, like all of the fucking mechanical puppets that they used and the way they worked them, they were truly fucking skilled people that were doing all of those rigs and working them. Like they really sold it. So some of the scenes with real life action, some of them were just close up of the head and all that. And just all of the effects people, like this, they actually had to make it look like this thing had a slimy, wet, fucking salivating mouth as it was about, and the second set of jaws that snapped out, like. Scary shit when you expect. Well, I was pretty young when I saw it. That scared the fucking shit out of me, that movie.
Like
it holds up.
It's like the first vagina I saw, actually. But anyways,
pop out.
The next movie is Freaks, 1932. I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Fantastic.
No.
It's, you probably have seen a shot from it when all of the people, the circus folk, are going,
One of us.
Google gobble, Google gobble.
Now, see, I have seen the movie though. Now you reminded me. I have a horrible memory. So yes, I have seen the movie.
It took me like 10 seconds to go freaks. Google gobble. Oh, got it. Okay, good.
So that's where that reference comes from. The One of Us that's from that movie. Oh, I haven't seen the movie. Now I'm gonna have to fucking see it.
It is fantastic. But actually, one of his films that I like better is The Unknown. That is a really fucked up film, and it's always missing from these lists. So go see The Unknown because that one's only 50 minutes long, and that fucked me up. So if you want a good circus freak storyline, that's a good one.
More movies need to be 50 minutes. I've seen too many that are 2 hours. I'm just like, come on, man. I get it. Enough of 40 minutes of establishing shots. Like, here's the house. Let's hang on that for 2 minutes. Here's the backyard. Let's hang on that for 2 minutes. Here's just the floor. Let's look at that.
Stretch it out, man. The next one, 15, The Night of the Living Dead. Yay!
Yes.
That's
one of the best.
I heard they threw that movie into the back of a car and just drove it out. Like they had so little money. They're just like, well, we got the film, put it in the back of the truck and just fucking drive it out, jump it off. And yeah, that pissed people off back in the day. They thought that was way too violent, like way overboard. And I could see why for the time. But again, the black and white. You know, it's made it scary when the lady's eating the rat and they're playing with pig intestines and shit. And
yeah, dude.
the idea of like
so nice
putting yourself in the victim's mind, I think, is what that movie did really good. Like you see them nailing up the house and all that, and you think, well, I have a house. What, they came to my house? Shit.
What
am I gonna do? Hey, get some boards. I never use this fucking treadmill. Just put it up against the front door. But then, how do you get out, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the solution to that movie was always just get in the attic, which always bothered me. But
it was very for that time. It was very different, gross. A lot of movies wasn't that kind of gross, but it was very cool, very cool.
And they vaguely explained the zombies. A meteor came by. Now, was it radiation? Was it a virus from the meteor? Like, they weren't thinking it was a virus back then. They were just thinking radiation. But within the modern context, because it was so vague, the idea of what caused the zombies kind of evolves like, well, I mean, it's just a meteor. What if it had a virus? What if it had a virus and it hit a graveyard or something like that? You can use your imagination on it.
Yeah.
So you don't need to think too much, but you can if you choose. So instead of just exposition, this is what happens. This is what happens. Just cut to the zombies. You'll figure it out. You'll decide what you like, and argue with your friends about it.
What was you gonna say, Cheryl?
Oh, that was the first horror film I showed Kylie when she was about 4 years old, and now she's obsessed with zombies. She watches everything that has to do with zombies. That's her genre now because of that film. So her favorite part was when the black man slapped the white girl and told her to shut the fuck up because she's freaking out the whole time. And he's like, shut up. And she's like, yeah.
I'll mention one more thing about it, and I'll shut up. There's somebody who did a dub of the movie. It's called Night of the Special Ed.
Yes.
And,
that sounds awesome.
It's pretty funny, and it will really piss a lot of people off if they go watch it. So make sure to show it to somebody who maybe is a social worker or something like that. It'll make them very angry.
I will definitely do that.
Well, that film was a very important film in that it had a black man as a protagonist too.
Yes.
So I think that was one of the controversies of it, which is so bizarre to think about today. But
yeah, and think
like,
about that time and age. Think about when the black guy slapped the white chick. Right? Think about how many old white Southern dudes. How dare he put his hands on a white girl? Oh.
Hopefully that guy in the basement does something about this, and he's just a big fat fucking coward. So that was nice. It did play on your expectations.
But one of the things I liked about it is the reason why I kind of like Walking Dead so much, because it shows like, it had zombies in it, but it shows it like the people were the main focus, and it showed like how they'll start breaking down in that kind of context, like murder's okay now, locking people up is okay now. And it shows like how would the human psyche or the human whatever would just start breaking down, and anything kind of goes.
And that's I honestly believe that's what would happen too.
Yeah,
like the couple that tries to fill the car up and gets themselves fucking spit-fired inside of the truck because they didn't pull the fucking gas out. Like, just, it was smart. Yeah. Their survival instincts betrayed them, and the guy who kept his head together about it was the one who survived. Well, depending on which version you watch, anyways.
I've just got one question about The Walking Dead. Who the fuck has been mowing all those lawns during the zombie apocalypse?
Zombies.
I guess maybe there's just one zombie that's stuck on a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
Hey, Zeus has some remnants of his former life as a yard care worker, and he's just continuously pushes a mower.
But I'm gonna tell you who does it.
Kind of like Land of the Dead.
I'm gonna tell you who does it.
I like Land of the Dead. I don't care what anybody says.
It's the crew. It's the crew that the showmakers hired to the motherfucking lawn, Red. That's who did it. Okay.
It's the one thing that it's like when I see shorts of that thing, and it's like
we've argued about this before.
I know I'm like just bringing it up for shits and giggles at this point because it doesn't fucking really matter. But I was just like,
where's the overgrowth?
It makes sense though.
Who the fuck has been like, seriously, I've lived on a property and we let some buildings get taken back, but give it 12 months, nature just destroys shit. It's like, doesn't take long.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Now I think about it, it's like, yeah, wait a second. Why is all the grass cut? Why isn't everything just dead or just like brush? And not to mention, how will the zombies get through like razor grass? You know what I mean? They're going to get all tangled up in it. They're going to be like, goddamn.
In Australia, you just find zombies everywhere trapped in Lantana going, It's like, once you wander into that shit, you're stuck for good, man. You're fucked. It's like, no, it makes no sense.
Now I want an Australian zombie film where a fire tornado hits some zombies. I think that would be fun.
A fire Sharknado.
Lasts for like 5 minutes.
Sharknado. Actually, it's Australia, crocodiles and box jellyfish nado. And fire. With a bit of beer. You've got to have beer.
The next one, Eyes Without a Face, 1962.
Never seen it.
I have that on my list, and I have it set up to watch, and it is highly recommended to me. So I'm looking forward to watching that. It looks fucked up. All the imagery I've seen from it is a woman with a white mask over her face, where all you see is the eyes, and it's fucking creepy looking. Just that alone. So
yeah, I have
Billy Idol song is magnificent, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I do want to say, like last week when we did the comedy, I've seen everyone but like 3. See, I'm a comedy junkie though. I'm not a horror junkie, so a lot of these I haven't seen. But yeah.
Well, horror definitely runs into the obscure because it's just one of those genres that, like comedy, people will go out to a theater to see a comedy. Like if they don't have any plans, 90% of the time they'll pick a comedy because it's like, well, maybe I'll laugh. But you can go see a bad horror movie, you know what I mean? And it's not even funny. It's just boring. It just goes on. Like Manos, Hand of Fate. That's a classic. Just like, oh God. Like if you're not laughing at it, you're going to want to just walk out. But you can go see some shitty comedy and you might be like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When a comedy's done bad, well, you may find a joke or two. But when a horror movie's done bad, it's kind of shitty.
Thanks, killing.
Well, the thing is with horror, for the longest time, it didn't have a huge budget, and it's always been a B movie, and they typecast it as like only little boys like it, and so it's never been mainstream. Comedy has pretty much always been a mainstream genre.
Very much.
Oh,
it's finally getting understood that horror can be a really fantastic genre, and that's what Get Out did for the horror genre, and I can't wait to see what comes out after.
Yeah, they're getting better actors now for it. That's the one
can
thing
they
that always
fire the people doing the scores? Like I saw somebody take the music out of the new It movie. It was way better. They Live, which I don't know if it's on the list, but screw it, I'll just talk about it. It had a very muted like soundtrack, so when there's a big gunfight, the soundtrack is the guns instead of it's just just fucking tons of guns lighting up and people screaming. Like that's horrific. Any semblance of music in that would just fuck it up.
Yeah, when music is trying to tell you what you're supposed to feel, it is kind of how it's supposed to work. But when it's way overdone and the music is what's causing you to jump, not the actual imagery, you failed. Like that's not horror. That's why don't I just listen to spooky music then? It's so dumb.
I think you get one stinger when it may be an abstract concept that maybe people won't entirely get. But if it's supposed to already be scary on its own, just let it be scary on its own.
Yeah. Sure. I always liked what they did with the Friday the 13th. Like, I thought that was great. That was great. Yeah.
Jason's coming, but you're not quite sure when or where.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's there. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's just there to fucking, fake out. And it was subtle. It was nuanced. It wasn't loud. To where you watch that movie and it's playing like loud fucking music while people are burning in the bar. And it's just like, well, I would like to hear the screams because those are horrific.
Okay. Pan's Labyrinth is the next one, 2006.
It's a good one. Good
That's
effects.
a fantastic one. I don't know if I consider it horror, but I mean, I guess there's elements of horror in it.
Yeah,
most people consider it fantasy horror, right? Like it's more fantasy than horror, but they have enough like hellish motifs on it that it would definitely scare the shit out of some adults. Even just thinking about it's like, wait a second, this is fantasy, but fantasy can kind of reach into a lot of genres, and it does get horrific in areas, especially once you start dealing with monsters, which of course, are scary. But it starts off as you might view it as like just a little kids that get on an adventure. Gonna go on an adventure, maybe find some treasure. And no, she doesn't find treasure.
She finds an eye monster.
This has nothing to do, but it kind of does. But you know what movie scared the shit out of me was a kid, and it shouldn't have? Wizard of Oz.
Take Manhattan.
The Wizard of Oz always scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can see that. The Wicked Witch of the West, like Oz going, I am not. Well, I look like Oz right now, kind of, but like it had audio. You know what I mean? It had bite to it.
It's
That
terrifying.
Tin Man had no heart. That was frightening. He was what was he? A zombie? The undead Tin Man.
Yeah,
It's like,
they were all missing body parts or parts of
Yeah,
humanity.
yeah, that's right. No, the lion had
It's
no.
a nightmare, not a dream. It's a
It's
fucking
like
nightmare.
squashing old ladies for no good fucking reason. Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
What
she
sort
gets
of
crushed
message?
by
had
a
it
fucking
coming.
house.
Yeah, it's like
Them
start off by
goddamn
going.
little monkeys, them goddamn little flying ass monkeys, scared the piss out of me. I seen flying monkeys in my dreams. Oh, it's terrifying.
And the midgets. I mean,
the goddamn little midgets with the yellow skin tones and stuff.
Mommy, why do those children look all fucked up?
Is that related to Oompa Loompas? That was my question.
Little
Those
monsters, little monsters singing about Lollipop Gill. What the fuck is that shit about? Damn.
I'm sorry to all little
We
people watching.
represent the Lollipop Gill.
Oh no!
See, I'm shitting my drawers right now just thinking about it. Anyways, let's move on from that shit. Okay, Night of the Living Dead. We don't read that fucking shit. The Witch.
There.
The Witch 2016.
Fucking good.
That's on that one.
Oh, the bitch.
Yeah.
Good scenery on it. I didn't
I
like the
haven't
story
seen
too much, but when it came to like disturbing visuals, it did a pretty good job on that.
Really?
It basically shit on religion.
Yeah,
I mean, and how they treat women, how the the Salem type people
A
treat
lot of horror movies do that, though. A lot of horror movies shit on religion.
Yeah, but it had like the depth of a baptism pool. Like you could wade through it, and they could have done a lot more. It could have been more subtle. The visual elements are great.
Yeah.
The
I also
story is
like the
just cookie
tension.
cutter.
It does exactly what you were saying a movie needs to do without all the music and stuff. It just sets this tension the whole time where you're just like uncomfortable and you're like, what's happening? I feel icky. And then by the time you get to the end, you're like, I need a long shower because
Yeah, like it does that, and that's what I liked about it. But again, narrative, it could have maybe done with a little bit less of it. Maybe told us a little bit less, just a little bit less, and leave it to the head like the other movies we mentioned before.
Yeah. Anybody else out? Red, have you seen it?
No, sir.
I mean, neither. All right, we'll move on to the next one, which is awesome. Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah, my favorite comedy.
Yes, that's what I said. I love the fact that they turned it into a goddamn comedy. It was great.
That fucking scene where his hand goes insane and he ends up cutting it off. That is one of the funniest physical comedy bits I've seen. It's very Benny Hill-esque and it harks back to that whole era of physical fucking comedy. Like the whole thing was just so well choreographed, and his facial expressions and just him. He really sold that whole thing. That was a one-man show, most of that whole thing. If you think about it, it's just him close up dealing with, and he has to just pull all of these expressions from different fucking things happening to him in this. It's incredible. It's like the best ride. I was expecting this horror, and all of us, me and my mates were all sitting there going, and then we just started cracking up laughing, and we slowly started relaxing, and the scary bits still weren't so scary because we were laughing so fucking
It's
much.
so absurd. Yeah.
They sort of went with it, and they went, right, we're going to just ham this the fuck up, and it was a genius move. I think they kind of created the genre of horror comedy. That was the one that really put the icing on the cake to make it stand on its own. Would that be a fair sort of?
Yeah.
I'd say
it's
so.
comedy.
But it's
It
still
is comedy.
scare a kid because of the way the Deadites work, the tree pulling that lady in the forest, will swallow your soul and, all that kind of stuff.
I like them when they swallow, though. I do like them when they swallow.
It's scarier as a kid because you couldn't imagine yourself as a tiny little tiger, like fighting that kind of stuff. But as an adult, it's like, I'll just fucking smash your head and shut the fuck up.
And when he finally grabs the chainsaw, he's who's laughing now, and he just starts screaming and laughing at the same time. It's just like, that's some fucked up shit. I love that movie, man.
That's
I
like-
really do.
That's what's so amazing about that film is it pretty much it made an entire actor's life that he will always be famous for that. He's huge because of that forever, and that's when you wrote a character properly and it was acted.
Everybody rips it off and they don't even care. They're like, go ahead, take it,
Well,
take it, whoever. Go ahead, please take the Evil Dead with you. It's great.
It's so easily well done, even when people try to copy it too, though, because whenever you go over and above with those special effects, it's hilarious. You can't help but
and it had
laugh. And his other film,
like Rosemary's Baby and all those. It's like the horror movie with the ending that's like, oh, everybody's fucked. That's great. I love that.
And they made one word cool again. Groovy.
Yeah. Thanks for taking that from the hippies, by the way, Bruce.
Hey, that was awesome. Well played.
Now, the next one, if you haven't seen it, something wrong with you. The Silence of the Lambs, 1991.
So great.
Good old cannibal movie, man. But instead of the mindless cannibal, it's like, what if we had a cannibal that was really smart?
Really fucking smart.
And one of the most memorable scenes ever. Everybody said it one time in their life. He puts the lotion on the skin and gets the hose again.
Would you fuck me?
I would, Frank.
Okay.
I really love the song "Goodbye Horses." I listen to it regularly because of that film. But the scariest scene for me was when the prisoner was jerking off and then threw his cum at her, and I was like,
through the hole.
I can't.
Through the little hole, man. That guy's it's almost like a superhero movie. You got like Buffalo Bill. You got the guy who can throw his cum with dead pin on accuracy. Then you got Professor Cannibal. It's great. They should form a team like a Suicide Squad or something. I don't know what you call it.
Oh, the next one, Sherry, my favorite. The birds. I love it. Oh my God. The birds,
like the peckers. That's what you like.
Sharon knows this is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I've talked about this a million times. The Birds is, oh God, I love this fucking movie, dude.
It's similar to Night of the Living Dead, to where it's not zombies, but it's like, why are the birds kicking everybody's ass? Why do they just suddenly do this? Because what would you do if birds started attacking you like hornets? Like that would be terrifying. You see what a magpie can do to the guy. Like they send kids to the school with buckets on their heads and shit because of that.
And you talking about people ripping it off. Look at all the movies that's ripped off the birds, though.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them sucked.
Yeah, but the birds did not suck. The phone booth scene, so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because that would be scary as fuck. You in that goddamn little phone booth, birds. Go ahead.
They come in through the fucking chimney. Yeah. That scene's fucking funny. I highly recommend to watch that in slow motion.
What, Sarah?
But even when they attack her, like, all that's really happening is some scratches, you know? And you're still scared for some reason. You're like, stop scratching her. But why is that scary?
But Hitchcock is such a fucking genius, though.
Yes.
If that shit happened in Australia, there'd just be dead people everywhere. Because we've got magpies, and they actually... Yeah, they have a crack at you during nesting season. Then you got carawongs, which are like the size of a fucking raven, but the same color as a fucking same colors as a magpie. Then you got crows, ravens, seahawks, ospreys, sea eagles. Like, seriously, the wedge-tail eagles from Western Australia have got a wingspan of like 1.5 meters. These things will rip your fucking face off with their talons. Like, if the best, give me a shotgun and I'm gonna find a manhole and crawl down it and pray to a god that I doesn't
on your head, man. You'll be fine.
A wedge-tail eagle, I could put a metal bucket on my head and a wedge-tail eagle will land on it and just crush it in its talons in my head and just go out the bottom of the fucking bucket. It would be
look like a human car accident.
That would be cool looking. We need to videotape that happening now. I don't know.
Yeah, put a bucket in a watermelon and just cover it whatever birds hate.
I don't know, like, what was that? Which Resident Evil movie was it where the birds were zombie birds attacking them? I
believe that was the third one.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a good Resident Evil, but the idea of zombie birds, because if they peck you, you become zombified. So, like, that sucks.
Peck you.
Well, we got those. They're called mosquitoes, and they carry cool viruses like Zika.
But before we go to the next one, I do want to announce that tomorrow's show, we have a special guest host. I can't make it, right? I can't make it, right? So my cousin, Pimpmunk, is going to be hosting the show tomorrow.
Yes.
And I heard Pimpmunk has now got new hair, and she's an SJW. This is what I hear.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
I'm going to throw down.
Pimpmunk looks exactly like me with makeup, by the way, if you don't know who Pimpmunk is.
If she's modeled herself off Big Red, there's going to be trouble. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I heard it's Big Blue now. That's what I hear. That's what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
But anyways, make sure you check that out tomorrow. And Friday, we do Fan Friday. Now, next week, no shows because I'm going to be at VidCon. So there will be no shows next week. Yeah, I'm going to be staying in an apartment with a big fat dude who raps and a guy with a mask. So,
I wish I could make it, man. It's just
I wish you could. So it'd be awesome, bro.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll plan out for next year. Like, we'll see what YouTube does. YouTube has a horror movie ready for us every year, so I'm trying to avoid it this time.
That's one thing I'm gonna kind of look into because there is more video sites that show up there. So I'm gonna kind of snoop around, see what they got going on and shit like that. And because YouTube, I don't know, man. I may punch a YouTube executive.
What is there like at you now, representative hanging out the front of the fucking VidCon going, "Hey, psst, buddy, come here. I want to show you something." Got a trench coat and flips it open and goes, "Look, you now."
Actually, they're very big at VidCon because they're very big with a young crowd, and there's a lot of youngsters there. But anyways, yeah. There she's back. Look at that ass on that when she got back. Good Lord Jesus. I'm talking about Red Eye's ass, not Shaver's ass.
I got a big red ass today.
I would never objectify a woman.
From YouTube, anyways. They'll take your channel down.
I actually have a cute shirt on representing one of my favorite horror films.
Yeah,
I don't think it's actually considered a horror film, but
she did that on purpose. Anyways. Yeah, so make sure you do all that. Tomorrow. What the fuck am I talking about now? The Cabin in the Woods is the next movie.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a newer one, but and I'd still say it falls a little bit into the comedy format, but it does a good trick to where it starts out horror, goes to comedy, then reverts back to horror, then goes a little bit in between. So it kind of goes through phases, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of get to have your cake and eat it too. And fuck it, we'll spoil it. Bad ending.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love
that
entire film. I like the bad ending even. Like that film is one of those fantastic things where it basically is calling out all the stupid tropes of horror movies while also saying, "I love you, horror movies." It's like a great way of, sticking it to them, but saying, "I love you." And it's, I don't know.
When I say bad ending, I don't mean like the ending sucked. I mean like nobody wins. Everybody lost.
Fucked. But that's how everybody wins in a way, right? Like that is the best thing that could happen if that's the way the world is actually working. Like, fuck that world then.
I'd say the most predictable thing for a horror movie to do is to have a survivor.
Yeah.
And if you did it the other way, of course, it's like, well, it's a horror movie. Everybody dies, of course. That sucks. But it's got to plan your expectations somewhat, or else it's not scary, or else it's just it's a dark story, not a horror story.
That's my issue with a lot of horror movies. There's always the ending. It seems like an ending to a horror movie is hard to write. I don't know.
Well, because you don't want to kill the chance for a sequel if people really like the main character, but you also want to scare people at the end because you do need a climax.
Yeah, I've got this Schrodinger's cat version ending where you just lock them in a trunk so you don't know if they're alive or dead.
You don't know how it's gonna work out.
I will say
a few movies to do that. Like hell, even I'll just bring up the new It movie. They throw Pennywise down a well. The fucker ain't dead.
Yeah,
but the other thing goes with them.
Yeah. Now I will say that I think one of the best endings, and it may be on the list too. I'm sure it is. The original Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
The ending to that was great. The ending to that was awesome.
My favorite ending is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A chick in the back of a truck laughing maniacally. It's like, yes, that is the girl who should survive. Is the one who's fucked up at the end and happy.
It's still a bad ending, right? She survived, but now she's fucked in the head.
Like a house of 1,000 corpses when they pull up. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you survived? Question mark.
Yeah. You don't always have to kill everybody for it to be a bad ending. Sometimes you just got to change them somehow. They just got to be somehow altered in some way, whether it be mangled or psychologically damaged or, hey, where are they? Where'd they go?
Leave it up to your imagination what happens.
Yeah.
It's so honest to end it that way because so many times people will survive and then they seem to be fine. And you're like, nobody's fine after experiencing all that shit. Don't act like you're cool. You're fucked right now.
You
just
got
admit it.
Serious PTSD.
I would love to see a horror movie that was after something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you just see like what happens to the main character and see like all the shit they go through and that's like the breakdown they have and stuff like that.
It's like from a horror movie to like introspective of somebody who's experienced a traumatic event, like while they're in therapy and just trying to like work through it. That'd be a cool short, I think, like a 30-minute short film. I don't know if I could sit through like 2 hours of that, but
it makes me think of the meme that I've seen with Alice and Dorothy. We've seen some shit, man. I love that fucking meme. But yeah, don't look
think
now.
we'll get to all 100 Pimpmunk.
Probably not.
Let's try.
Don't look now. 1973.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I have never seen it. I've never seen it either. So there we go.
I guess none of us looked.
The Vanishing, 1988.
Couldn't see it.
Yep.
God damn, we might go through it. We ain't seen the rest of them. The Innocents, 1961.
Oh, I lost that a long time ago.
I've never seen it either. God damn. Oh, I've seen this. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, 2014.
Fantastic film.
Never seen it. Is that like an independent or something?
I don't chase girls going home at night, so you have to tell me what happened.
That's the only way I get my dates.
That's considered a foreign one, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Actually,
it
was decent though. It was really, yeah. But yeah, it's decent. Okay, Drag Me to Hell, 2009.
Hey, there's another Evil Dead movie. Okay, everybody cringes at it, but knowing that it's done by the people who did Evil Dead, rewatch it, and it's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. It took me a second. You had to mention Evil Dead. I'm like, Evil Dead is oh, okay, yeah. It's okay. I guess that's where you run into a lot of those movies.
It is so gross when that old lady thing like vomits in her mouth and she's dead witch vomit in the mouth. There's like crazy acrobatics going on. It is so fucked up and it's funny and I laugh at it. So
you know my thing about the stuff on skin.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. Little specks.
There's a lot of gross. There's a lot of gross in that one. So
I'll watch any movie that critics say is too gross. That horror movie made me want to vomit. It's like that's an endorsement.
I'm pretty sure it's not on this list, so I'm going to mention it like honorable mention. It's not a horror. It's just it grosses you the fuck out. The Serbian film.
Oh yeah.
That is so fucked up, dude.
It actually had, I don't know if it's still for sale, but the baby is for sale on eBay, or it was.
God almighty.
No. And it wasn't even that expensive either. So if you're wanting a horror movie prop, try to check that out.
Yeah, I don't. Why would they do that? They ripped it. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you don't.
Okay, then.
It creeps me the fuck out, dude. It's
a great endorsement. Don't see it. It scares me.
Dude, that's literally how that film works, though. I remember way back in the day when we were just starting out on YouTube, someone said, do not watch this film. So literally everyone did it and filmed their reaction to it. Like almost everyone I know had a reaction video watching it. I still have not seen it. I took their word for it. I was like, I'll avoid it, but almost everybody I know has seen it, and
I'm a dumbass. So somebody told me not to see it. Of course, I had to see it. And
I'll watch it just to spite you, asshole. Oh God, why did I do that?
It didn't scare me. It just it freaked me out because the scene where they ripped the baby out, like you mentioned, the baby, and I won't give a fuck. It's been out. I don't give a fuck if you say spoiler or not. They raped the baby straight out the woman's body. That's just fucked up.
See, I can watch anything with horror. I can watch a woman get sliced in half or something. But when it comes to like babies and stuff like that, that's where I kind of like cringe, and it's really hard for me to watch. Like I just watched Stillborn, and it had this one scene where the woman was giving her newborn a bath, and she walks out of the bathtub, out of the bathroom real quick. And the ghost closes the door with the water still running and the baby sitting there crying. So I'm just like, no, save the goddamn baby. Like, do something, And this woman runs out like a dumb bitch, like, help! And no one's around. But it was just so fucked. I'm like, oh, god damn it. That's something that I can watch anything. But if it involves a baby getting raped or about to die, and it's like, oh, fuck.
This thought of a ghost that can just close doors and he just waits for moms to bathe their kids. It's like, oh, the phone's ringing. It's like, yeah, I got it. Suck shit.
That's fucked up. I don't like that.
It's a good movie, but it's really fucked. It's like has me.
I want to see Jack Nicholson get an axe and break down the door to save the baby.
I'm sorry, ghosts make me laugh. Like just just somebody's just waiting. He's like, "Come on, fucker." Come on, I can do one thing. I can do one thing. It's gonna get you, but you got to stand in that one spot. I got you. Now you're a ghost too. Let's hang out. You're my friend now.
He wanted a ghost baby friend. Maybe that's it.
They're just making friends, is all.
Well, the fucked up thing is that's why the ghost is haunting the baby because the ghost wants the baby.
Oh,
so
nice.
Some kind of demon. It's a good story. It's got a really good story. Just that one scene,
perfect.
I'm like, oh fuck.
I need a ghost baby. God damn it. Let's kill this one. Well, you know what's a really fucked up scary baby is I think it was Day of the Dead 2004 version where the pregnant chick gave birth to a vampire baby.
The 2004 Dawn of the Dead was my favorite because you had the pregnant woman who got infected.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she wanted to keep the baby, but the baby was stillborn. So what's going to happen to a stillborn baby when everybody's infected with the virus is going to be a zombie baby. And it had almost nothing to do with the movie it was based off of. And that's what made it a good remake, because it's like, well, what if we just took the mall and just took the setting and just, flipped everything else over, and you can watch that again. It holds up. Even the practical effects do. I don't see too much CG that's just like, oh.
But I just love the dad isn't a zombie yet, and he's holding the baby, and he's like so proud. He's like, yeah, my baby finally got born. And you're like, motherfucker, that is a vampire baby killer.
When you said scary baby, I thought you were going to say Kim and Kanye's baby, but never mind.
That's another
burn.
The next one is a great movie, Carrie, 1976.
Oh yeah. Even the remakes are okay on that one.
Yeah, the new.
You like the remakes?
Pretty good.
I don't think they were terrible. Like they could do way worse, and the effects hold up because you don't really need all that much, and they didn't resort to too much CGI in the remakes. Like it was still mostly practical effects. They were throwing tables at people and shit, which I appreciate. It's always fun.
It's like an ECW match.
I love the book though, and the book ends very differently than both of the films, and I would like to see a Carrie remake that was true to the ending of the book, which has Carrie walking through the streets doing all different kinds of fucked up shit, and basically it doesn't end with her arm coming through a fucking pile of rocks, I was like, what the fuck? Now she could come back from the dead? What is this ending supposed to mean? What the fuck? I don't know if it was supposed to be a dream, or I don't know what they were trying to do.
Well, see,
they could do one more, one more remake on that. I think I could still do that.
I liked it that they didn't make it a remake. They made it like a sequel.
Well, there was another remake. There was actually a newer version.
Oh, was there a remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're not bad. It's one of those movies that doesn't spoil so hard. It's kind of hard to fuck it up, I think, is the thing.
Yeah.
You look that movie up.
Reg, you've been quiet a minute. You seen Carrie?
No, I haven't.
Girl gets the blood spilt on her. Remember, she's standing on the stage, just spilled a bucket of blood on her. You've probably seen that scene at least.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I know the movie. It's just I've never watched the whole movie.
And
understandable.
Yeah, you don't. You actually you cheer for her. I cheered for her. I was like, yeah, kill them motherfuckers.
And when you read the book, it's the same thing. Like she goes on a rampage. She doesn't just kill all the people at the high school. She kills everyone in town. She makes the wires break and land in puddles on the street to electrify all these innocent fucking people, and she fucks shit up, dude.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, but you do cheer for her to kill everyone in town. Yeah, die. This is why you shouldn't bully, fuckers.
Yeah, you don't pick on Carrie. You just got fucked up.
But also, this was also another one of those horror films where it was shitting on religion and the hyper-religious fanatic type parenting.
Yeah, and the mother was really good.
Your dirty pillows.
She was really good at the character though.
Fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't sledgehammer it too hard though. She was a believable. Yeah. You've run across people like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I actually know a woman like that.
Yeah. And that's why that works.
I know her.
Some of them in my family.
The person who's like, we gotta kill the baby for Jesus. You never run across that, but you do run across where it's I have to control your life. Your dirty pillows are making the boys look. Get in your room.
You putting out the smell of sex. That's just the demon scent. Okay. Maybe she didn't say
Anyways,
that.
movies, right?
I like this. You guys are like working through some shit. I like it.
Me and
I also
Hellbent
like
have
his-
issues. We have
He has
issues.
a floating
goddamn.
head. He has a floating head, and he's saying these little catchphrases, and it's very creepy.
The South teaches you a lot.
Yeah. And that voice alone kind of makes my pecker hard. I mean, it scares me. It scares me. It scares me.
If you don't
Anyway.
stand out in the crowd, you get ran over. That's what I learned down here.
That's the reason I cut my goddamn goatee to look like a fucking catfish. Anyways, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978.
That's a good
Yes.
one.
Classic.
Yes, that's such a good one.
You
That
don't know
should be
who's
way
your friend
higher
or
up.
not.
Yeah.
I
like your life.
love
Have you
that
seen the porn?
story.
Have you seen the point Invasion of the Booby Snatchers? It's awesome.
Oh my god.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about the movie.
No, I just love the concept. Like every single body snatcher redo or it's just the idea you don't know who people are, like who's the bad guys, who's your friend.
Yeah.
But it also is a very key thing in talking about tribalism and groupthink, and it gets into those deep philosophical things that people need to know about today. So I'm like, please, everybody, go watch that so you don't turn into a freaking, alien pod people person.
Pod people person. That's a lot of P's.
Yeah.
Pod
Pop
people
people person.
Perfectly pod people person.
Perfectly
Say it
pop people.
There's actually a show that they made. Can't remember what it was called. If you guys remember it, let me know. But it was basically in Washington, D.C., these bugs go into your head, kind of like the pod people thing. And they take out half your brain, and they're ruling over all of our politicians. And so it explains why the politicians are so ridiculous and crazy. And it seems so realistic now. I'm like, oh my God, there are alien bugs in all of our politicians' heads. And that's why everything's fucked right now. So...
It's a good vehicle to explain insanity. Like, you can't really explain why people are crazy or why they do what they do or why they're like that. You can say money, politics, blah, 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 blah. But it's much easier if you just say they got a bug in their head. There's just a little fucking thing and they're pulling the strings, and that's why they're fucked up.
I will go with that answer.
It's a nice way to frame that kind of thought, but also do it in a horror movie. So you're entertained and not just bored to listen to somebody tell you like, this is what I think about these people who disagree with me. They're a bunch of stupid assholes.
Why did you turn into Paul?
I just love doing the voice. Makes me feel better about myself.
31 is Evil Dead 1981.
The one that people never watch. They watch Evil Dead 2 and they thought they watched the Evil Dead 1, but they didn't. And that movie's short. It's dirty. It's not as funny. Tree rape. Yep. The branch goes right up her snatch. And that's one of the, it's more of a horror movie for sure. Just for that alone, like,
yeah,
a tree raping somebody is scary on a lot of levels. I've had a splinter, man.
And it had the angriest cameraman I've ever fucking seen. The fucker used to just run through the forest, go, it was just like, what the fuck? And Jesus, calm down, mate. Get off the meth, buddy. Decaffeinate that coffee.
I had never seen Evil Dead, and when I was younger, because I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of the scary movies when I was younger, and I got my big giant camcorder. I'd make my own scary movies. That's how I got to watch horrors. I made it. And I actually did some footage very much like Evil Dead, and I was making noises and grunting and chasing my sisters. They were the, victims, obviously. I had the knife going after them, and I'm being all scary and stuff behind the thing. And I watch Evil Dead. I'm like, that motherfucker stole my idea before I was born.
That's a good thing about Night of the Living Dead and Evil Dead. A lot of dead movies in that. But if you're cheap, or even if you're not cheap, but the filthier and just grimier and just off it is, the better it is. Because if it's too clean and too, computer animated, sharp, crystal clear, you'll see it in 3D IMAX or surround sound and you'll love it. It's like, well, I don't feel like I'm watching some footage of something fucked up that happened. I don't feel like I'm in some kind of world that I can't understand. I feel like this is all splayed out for me, easy to understand. But Evil Dead confuses the shit out of you.
You're like, where are we? Are we happy? Are we scared? I don't know what's happening. Oh no, are we horny? I don't know.
I am.
Did you like the tree rape scene? Was that your favorite, Pim?
Yeah, because I actually, after I watched that, I went and bought a tree costume.
You do some cosplay from freaking Lord of the Rings. You're like, yeah, bitch, I'm coming.
No, well, I guess
Look at my splinter.
you can call it cosplay. It happened in an alley, and well, never mind. Anyways, yes, I make
Come
great
to me,
jokes.
Samwise.
The Loved Ones is number 32.
Never seen it.
2012.
Never seen it.
I
I see the word love in a horror movie, and I just go, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have seen that. Is there a picture of?
No, it's just I don't have any pictures.
I will look it up and see if I've seen it.
Love is
it sounds
terrifying
familiar.
enough on its own. I don't need a movie to explain it.
Love is terrifying. I hate love.
Stupid bullshit emotion.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I have seen this. This is a fucked up movie. I thought it was the one I was thinking of. So this is about a girl who tries to ask a guy to prom, and he already has a girlfriend, and he regularly is having sex with this girlfriend. And why would he go with this other girl? And you kind of feel sorry for her in a way when she gets turned down, until her dad abducts him, forces him to be at a prom at their house, and it's pretty obvious that they have lobotomized the mother. And they have him tied up, and they try to torture him. And the main scene that they do show in the trailer is that they're going to drill a hole in his forehead all the way in and dump hot water into it so that he becomes basically a creature. Because she collects boys this way who turn her down because she's looking for someone that's just like Daddy. Because I love you, Daddy, and
Daddy.
it's
Yeah, that's
super
kinda fucked
up. It's good though.
I've known a few women like that.
Jairus
Drill never
like
works,
that.
so it just goes right through, just hollow. Just...
Yeah, Red Eye's kind of like that, but he's like that with like fucking koalas.
What?
Oh, I just run him over a bandsaw. Meow.
Damn.
That's a great mental image because I know those fuckers are lazy. It's not gonna know what's going on. It's like, what's that noise? I'm not getting up. Oh, I'm dead.
That's fucked up, Red. I don't know if I like you anymore.
Oh,
Kill them little cute koalas.
everybody
They're
needs
not
a hobby.
cute.
Don't judge me.
They are adorable, man. They're
This
mean.
little syphilitic fucking disease-carrying monsters.
Full of chlamydia, the filthy little fuckers. It's like they all deserve to die.
I like
Yeah.
squirrels too, so fuck y'all. Anyways, Young Frankenstein, 1974.
Was that a comedy?
That's a
Yeah,
comedy.
I'm more of a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy horror, I guess. So
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that, I guess.
This
But
way.
That's straight
like,
up.
was
comedy.
somebody really scared?
No.
It was funny as
Somebody-
fuck,
no,
though.
guard down.
Put him on the Ritz. No.
It's a fucking great movie, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
awesome.
made the doctor more of a character, which was nice to see. But I'd say calling that a horror movie is kind of like calling Ace Ventura a horror movie. Yeah, it's like it's loud and obnoxious and
Disturbing.
yeah, disturbing.
But the only
it's
difference
not
is,
horror.
the only difference is Young Frankenstein was good.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I won't argue that. I don't think anybody would. I don't even think Jim Carrey would argue that. I think he'd be like, yeah,
I
We
think
make
Red Eye
shit for
was.
shit,
Red Eye
man.
likes Ace Ventura, right, Red?
Yeah, I actually don't mind it.
Yeah.
I
just
don't
like
mind
'cause
it.
He's from Australia, though.
all the pop culture references, especially the fucking crying game thing, really, because I actually got suckered into watching that by one of my ex-girlfriends. She just wanted to see the look on my face when the drop the drawers is like, wait, that's a chick, that's a dick. What? This was a trap. God damn it. It's like, and
Crying
as soon as I
Game
hear
is
that-
that's a great film
it
though.
is
The
actually a
Crying
good movie. I will admit it's a
Yeah.
fucking really good movie, but
Real good
that
horror
scene,
movie.
Forrest Whitaker was in that, and oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I
just
think
the scene where
both-
they go, Finkel is Einhorn, and they all start going up and wiping their mouths, and everyone's freaking out.
both the Crying Game and Ace Ventura, funny enough, both get more offensive and funny as time goes forward.
Yes,
Yeah, the
absolutely.
transphobia is strong with those ones.
That's
Oh.
it- I guess what makes me laugh about Ace Ventura now is knowing that it pisses people off. So I'm like, I don't like that one.
It does
thing-
make-
You even get Dan Marino even getting in on that joke, so he was spitting.
just the strategic use of the Crying Game music in Ace Ventura is actually the part that really made me laugh. When I heard the music, I fucking, it just all clicked, and I went, oh my god, that's pretty fucking clever. That's funny. Well played.
All right, yeah, cool.
Quality references.
34, Halloween, 1978. Awesome.
Fucking
Yeah.
love all the Halloween. Well, most of them.
Speaking of
H2O
Halloween,
can go to hell, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate
There-
they make good use of iced tea.
there is a new Halloween coming out this year, and it has her in it again, and she's going to be a grandma going after the fucker. So
Oh no!
I like the idea of Halloween, but with prep time. Same thing like if he had Jason with prep time. Like usually these guys, they go after people who don't see it coming. But now she's got time to prepare. She's like, I know that fucker's coming.
it's kind of like Terminator 2, right? Like it's where she's gotten older, she's ready to fucking fight, and she's gonna kick some ass. And
She go drink some Ensure and put on her.
And maybe Michael Myers would be like, oh, she knows I'm coming, so I'm gonna not play around this time. Last time I was just having fun.
She gonna be standing out in the front yard with her cane. Come on, you bastard! I got you this time.
Man, if she dies in the first 10 minutes, that would be the funniest shit. Just,
Guys have a heart attack.
And she's just fucking murdered the fuck out of it. It's like, oh, well, what's this movie about then? Oh, he's going after somebody else. Okay.
Fucking Michael Myers has got arthritis.
It's like trying to hold it up with two hands. He drops it, and she's like, oh, here's some aspirin, sweetheart. He's like, girl.
Michael Myers now has a walker. He's so ancient and decrepit that he's like got one of those full frame walkers. He's just hobbles forward.
No, dude, he's got a hover around. He's on a fucking hover around.
Yeah. You hear that
with an American flag on the back.
I'm gonna get you, bitch. I'm gonna get you.
It's got like a bunch of knives taped to the front of it.
His victim's walking away from him in the front. Like, okay, fucker. Yeah. Anyways, 35 is Nosferatu Phantom der Nacht. I guess I'm saying that right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that is that the Werner Herzog one?
I guess 1979. I don't know. I haven't seen.
Yeah. That's a really good one. It's very similar to the original in story and creep factor with the vampire. Like he's not a pretty vampire; he's an ugly vampire, like a really ugly vampire. But it's I don't know. It's a well shot film, beautiful, creepy.
I've seen the original. I haven't seen this one though.
It's good. It's a really good one to watch. I don't know. It's if you like really pretty goth like chicks that aren't, emo, getting fucked with by ugly, creepy vampires, then yeah, you'll like it.
They ain't doing that stupid dance in it, are they?
No. Glow sticks and fish pads. Woo! Hot topic, bitch.
Are we gonna kill Dracula? It's gonna be ecstasy and glow sticks. Jam glow sticks.
Annoy him to death. Anyways, the next one, 36, The Love Witch, 2016.
Love Witch?
Nope.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even heard of this one.
That's new.
Love Witch.
That's what it
Like
says.
a sandwich?
New.
It
Yeah, the
says
sandwich.
it
This is
just
my
says-
love witch.
It says The Love Witch. I think
That sounds like threesome or something.
That's what I call my sandwich. This is my love witch.
it's like the world's tiniest little witch riding his dick as a broomstick. I don't know.
Welcome to the love witch. You're gonna be the meat.
I don't know.
Coming soon.
I have no fucking idea what this is. All right, we'll just move on to the next one. 37, Room 237, 2013.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It's pretty good, but describing it doesn't do it justice, right? It's one of those ones you just gotta watch. You really can't do a synopsis of it without it just being like,
it's
well,
creepy.
there's a thing that happens and then it ends.
Yeah. There's a beginning, a middle, then an end, and then we all go home.
Yeah.
It's a narrative that's spooky.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
There's actors in it. Okay. The Reanimator, 1985.
Oh yeah, it's a little
that
bit
was-
schlocky, but it's got visuals. You know what I mean?
Worth a watch.
Did VHS rental as a kid. It's like Reanimator. Is that like Night of the Living Dead? And you put in, you're like, oh no, it's not. But hell,
I would watch
I'll
it
take
again
it.
out of nostalgia, though. I definitely would.
and like that and Phantasm. Like there's that little era of just like B horror on VHS. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like what's
Anything made by-
Phantasm? Like those the balls that go into your head. It's like oh.
And
It's art.
Traumaville.
Yeah.
Traumaville
Oh, yeah,
Studios
Trauma.
are making some awesome shit. It's like the Swamp Thing and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Swamp Thing.
If the Toxic Avenger's not on that list, it's not complete because it is funny, but I mean that kid gets his head ran over. You know, it's
Toxic Avenger was the shit. That's right.
They shot a blind guy's dog.
Oh, fuck that movie. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it really does. Like they kill every like empathetic person you can, and cheer for Toxic because like this town.
You're never supposed to kill the dog. That's like the rule. And they were like, "Fuck that rule."
Yeah, we're gonna kill the blind guy's dog. Now he's not gonna be able to get out.
It's like they sat down and they went, "Listen, how do we make up for this sort of lack of budget?" And they just went, let's just kill everything. Just all of the bad shit that you wouldn't think about doing. We're going to do that in this movie. Blind guy, his guide dog, we're fucking killing it. It's just like, and everyone else on the production team went, "You're a fucking genius," and off they went.
Number 39. I hope I say the last part right. Train to Busan.
Oh, that was
Train
a
to
good
Busan.
movie.
I did say it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's a city in Korea. We just recently did a show on that one. It's Kylie's favorite. She has watched it probably about 20 times now, and every single time she cries at the end. Every single time.
Yeah, it's a really good zombie movie. And I can tell you right now, that little girl that's in there, she can act. Like, she can act better than a lot of people.
That is so rare when a kid can act in a movie. You're usually like, someone kills fucking kids.
Macaulay
and ruining the movie.
motherfucker. Macaulay.
I said she's better than him, damn it.
I can tell you outright, you can blame Hollywood for that because they handpicked the kid. You know what I mean? Instead of like, letting anybody audition and finding the kid that actually has imagination and shit, they pull like kids out from a city who haven't like been outside ever. Yeah. And it's like, well, act like you're playing outside. What is this? Wow.
Yeah, because kids these days don't know what outside is.
What is
it's
outside?
Like the little kid in Jurassic World, like, bless his tender little heart, he's trying, but he looks like he doesn't look scared of the T-Rex at all. He's like, I don't want to jump. Oh, here we go. Whoa. Like, you should be like, oh, die. Oh, God.
Exactly.
Quick side note. On Facebook yesterday, I saw this 3-minute short. It's an advertisement for the new Jurassic Park movie. It's called Jurassic Parkour. Fucking watch it. It's so fucking stupid, but funny and awesome. It is really well done. It's funny as fuck. It's just dumb. It's basically a couple of people and a couple of them were wearing those stupid T-Rex suits, and it's just a 3-minute chase scene, and it's so stupidly over the top. It's retarded, but it's really fucking funny.
I'm going to watch it.
Jurassic Parkour. Enjoy.
I will watch that right after this show. That does sound interesting.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, I went to go see Jurassic Park at the drive-in theater. So we were in a car watching the scene with the cup and the vibrations and shit. And I was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, it scared the shit. That actually scared the shit out of me, being in a car watching that scene.
And they call that an adventure movie.
Yeah. I was scared shitless at that
And those
movie.
kids in that movie, they acted. They looked like they were scared of the fucking velociraptors hiding in the kitchen and shit. It was smart. And
they must have really actually scared those kids. Either that or they were amazing actors, because usually kids, when they're supposed to be acting scared, that's actually one complaint I have of the Babadook. That fucking little boy, I just wanted to punch him the whole fucking time. I hated that fucking kid.
Can I call my penis that from now on, the Babadook?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not getting a sequel, so you're fine.
Also, it's never seen, so, just keep it in your pants, I guess, and it is the Babadook.
I haven't seen it in years. Anyways, the next one, number 40. We mentioned it earlier. It's awesome. It's a classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
Yeah.
The best thing to watch is the documentary that is done on it, because
I've watched it.
Yeah, they go into a lot of stuff that's happened, like that the Johnny Depp scene. Like, apparently it caused so much chaos within the fucking studio that it was just fucking horrible, but it made that scene great because of the chaos.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, but it was just great. And it actually was, to me, that movie was scary. You know, it had some scary. I don't think most of the sequels was really scary. They were more funny to me and goofy.
Oh yeah. Well, they're having fun with the idea of that. But you got Robert Englund is a great actor. You got a good concept. So even the worst one is still watchable at least.
Now I want to say this. Everybody jumps my case because I say this, but I actually like the remake.
I don't think it was too bad, but it's just replacing Robert Englund's kind of hard because you got this like iconic actor. So whoever's next in line, it's kind of like Jared Leto as the Joker versus any other Joker. It's like
I was gonna say literally all of them.
Like, I want to like this, but why couldn't you try to get somebody? God damn it!
You know, I think the problem with that
Joker.
The problem with his movie was that the people that did the editing on that weren't people that usually edited movies. They were people that did trailers, and that's why that fucking movie fell apart. Is the fucking post production? That's my theory. Is that the people that did it, apparently, if I understand it correctly, only do trailers. They don't do full movies. So there was a whole bunch of footage done, and they've chopped a whole bunch of his shit out and disconjointed it and made it all fucked up. But apparently, he's getting his own standalone movie, and I think he'll kick ass.
Maybe he'll get redeemed.
Yeah, I think as Jokers go, like there's been most of the portrayals of it's one of my favorite characters ever. Jack Nicholson. His version's my personal favorite. Just the very end of it when he's dead and you just hear that. Was fucking freaky. Even after dying, he's still fucking taunting people. That's the Joker. But Hamill, you're right, honest. And I'll just quickly mention,
like when you got multiple people. Yeah. I'm interrupting. I'm sorry.
No. It's 2 second delay in Australia. I just want to mention, Honest Red said Mark Hamill, absolutely voice acting. He is the best Joker for animation without a shadow of a doubt. You can't pass him. But I vote Jack and Heath. Heath's version was something special, but it was very different.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah. The one thing I wanted to say about the remake of the Nightmare on Elm Street though is I love the way they made the makeup have him actually look like a real burnt victim. Instead of a pile of hamburger meat,
pepperoni pizza, because that's where he got his inspiration from.
Yes, he did. In the documentary, it talks about that. He actually looked at the pepperoni pizza and said, "Okay, this is what I'm going for."
God damn.
Yeah.
But the thing is the concept of that monster is the worst because it is a child predator turned into a monster that can haunt the children in their fucking sleep. Like, that's so fucking fucked.
Yeah, and in the remake, they actually, put a lot of, like a lot more, attention to that than they did the original too. In the remake, they actually do, that he's taking them into that room to rape them.
Yeah.
So it's creepy as fuck, dude. I liked the remake. I thought it was really disturbing.
The remake was good, but it's hard to replace an iconic actor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the dude had a hard task to do, right? I mean,
And the other thing
that's another movie like you're talking about Suicide Squad earlier, working in productions with multiple people. Yeah. All it takes is one person to fuck the whole thing up.
Yeah.
An actor, an editor, a director, a sound guy, the music. I believe it was the Great Gatsby remake. Through the first half of the movie, they're playing like new music to the point where they're in an upstairs building and you can hear bass thumping through the like 1920s, roaring 30s fucking mansion. I'm like, wait, why is there like a huge fucking bass thump in this? And otherwise the movie would have been near perfect. But same deal with Suicide Squad, probably, maybe even Nightmare on Elm Street. Star Wars is a good example. He let George Lucas do whatever he wanted, and look what happened.
Yeah. The good thing about the Freddy movie, too, is that the idea of the monster, it was like there was this child predator. The vigilantes then sort of went and took care of business, but they've created their own. The monster became worse instead of letting natural justice take its course. It's kind of like this all fucked up situation. They made Freddy at what he was. That's the whole terrifying bit. It's like
and it's
they kind of created
on revenge. Like is revenge worth it? Are you actually empowering that person? So
well, it's like the old saying goes: if you plan revenge, make sure to dig 2 graves.
Yeah.
The next movie, number 41, The Host, 2007.
Great movie. Oh my fucking god, go see it. Go fucking see it. It is a monster movie, and it is freaky as fuck, but it's also really funny. I laughed a lot. It gets you emotional in parts. Like, this is one of the reasons why I really like the Korean horror stuff. Like, they know how to make you laugh, make you cry, make you on the edge of your seat, freaked out, and then, like, you get all of the emotions and stuff. But it's a great monster movie. The actors are fantastic, and I don't know. Just imagine you're minding your own business, and this giant sea creature thing just decides to come out and start destroying and killing everybody, and running on land and brutally murdering everybody in front of you, and you have to figure out how to survive. Like, that
is pretty funny.
And like, and they're taking kids and stuff, and you're like, all these kids are ending up missing. Where the fuck are the kids going? And it's a nice little fucked up film, but it's good.
It's like when a bear wanders into a neighborhood and just starts ripping shit apart. It's just like, yeah, get them.
Yeah, and it's fast. It's giant and fast and coming after people, and you're like, fuck, get the fuck. And they have an American actor in there. Like, I guess he's like a military American guy randomly. He's like trying to fuck it up, but he doesn't. People do not end up faring too well in this film. Don't get too attached to characters.
Like, not giant, but reasonably big monsters that move really fast are terrifying because,
yeah.
First of all, I don't stand a chance fighting the damn thing. I can't outrun it. So now I got to be smart. And I'm not too smart, so what am I gonna hide?
You're like, do I fight it? Do I run the fuck away? Do I hide? Can it smell me? Like, what the fuck do I do? And it's scary.
Well, the next one, it isn't scary, but it's funny and it's awesome. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, fucking
yes.
Classic.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is fucking great. And it was on the comedy list too, because that's where it belongs, actually, on the comedy list we did last week. And it's got
horror elements.
Yeah,
like,
it does have
there's moments where it's like, ha, oh wait, this isn't funny anymore. This isn't fun.
Yeah. And
the mom scene always gets me every fucking time. I'm like, why do I still feel feels from this? This is supposed to make me laugh.
And it's even got a buddy film ending.
Yes.
That's the best bit.
That's the beautiful part of it. The friendship between those two. That's the beautiful part.
And I'm a big fucking nerd, so the icing on the cake is that they're playing Time Splitters too. I'm like, yeah. I love that game. I play that game with my friends, so I relate. At the time, it's like very relatable. It's like, man, I do that with my friends all the time.
I think the beauty of that ending is that how like your character's supposed to develop and like you change at the end. Like his friend was pretty much the same, even though he was a zombie. He's the same guy. Yeah. So it's a pretty funny little jab at the character development. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. The next one's also a comedy zombie movie, Zombieland 2009.
I hope the second one is going to be good, but I hope they don't.
Are they going to make a second one?
Yeah, I think they are going to make a second one.
It's the names all showing up. If you look on IDBM or whatever that website is, they've locked all that shit down, so they own the rights to the name. That's a pretty sure sign that shit's going in production.
Yeah, it's going to be all the
Bill Murray
too, so.
was great.
That was so fucking funny. That whole scene, just like
the idea of like a survivor of the zombie apocalypse just being an actor.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I'll just act like these fucking things, and the zombies are like, "Damn, hey."
All right. I liked it when he talked about. I just seen Eddie Van Halen. He's a zombie.
And was it Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, dude.
Which also leads to a question. There's an old horror movie, sci-fi movie, to where somebody's on a planet full of robots, and it turned out it was nothing but people dressed up like robots because they were afraid that they were on a planet of robots. So, for all you know, everybody out there is just an actor. They probably didn't mean it that way, but I do like that concept of, well, what if it just is all of Hollywood's just pretending to be a zombie and nobody out there is dead and they've been killing them all this entire time?
Number 44, Dracula, 1931. Now, you look at it now, it's not scary, but you think about it then. Think about it as a person going into the theaters watching it then. It would have been pretty scary.
Well, that was iconic because the accent comes from that film. So that actor actually legitimately had that accent. And now we have that, I want to drink your blood.
Bella Lugosi, man. Is it not Bella? It's not Bella. It's, what am I mixing? Is it Bella?
Lugosi. Yeah.
Yes, it is Bella Lugosi. Okay.
And he is iconic for a lot of horror trope movie monster things, and he did really great makeup, and yeah, he's fantastic. He is a horror movie icon, and
it's a great movie too. It's an awesome movie.
Yeah, it's a really good story. The sets are fucking fantastic in that one. But what's interesting with that film is they made 2 versions. They had a English version, and then I think it was a Spanish version, and they used the exact same sets but different actors. And from what I hear, the Spanish version, they were watching while they were filming certain scenes, because they have the same exact script pretty much. They were watching the scenes, and then they tried to up the ante in the Spanish version. So from what I hear, the Spanish version is superior because they found out where the English people fucked up and made it better. So I haven't seen the Spanish version, but I'm looking for it. So,
well, what I liked about that movie is that the thing about Dracula that's bad is that they keep inventing new weaknesses for him. Like, oh yeah, he also hates garlic. He's got a bad allergy to peanuts. And also, if you throw a bunch of quarters on the ground, he's got to count them because he's the count. It's just keep it in sunlight and maybe a wood oak stake through the heart, because that'd be all right. He's also he collects Pokemon cards. If you put a Charizard in front of him, he'll freak out. Like, just keep it simple. He doesn't need like all this. He's not that complex. Fuck.
He dies when you Rickroll him.
He sparkles in the sun, guys.
Yeah, put him in the tree in the sunlight.
He's a meme lord.
Yeah, he sparkles. Yeah.
Oh, the sparkling fucking vampires.
Red Eye loves the sparkling ones. Red Eye loves the sparkling ones, don't you, Red?
Well, that's a love story. You know, you can make a monster a love story, but it's hardly a monster in those movies.
But don't pussify Dracula.
Speaking of a love story horror, what was the one where they had a zombie guy who ends up like falling in love and like, I actually liked that
something
one.
Cold, right? Something cold.
I can't remember. Something hard. I can't remember. Warm
bodies. That's what.
Warm bodies. Yeah. That's what
I was saying. Cold is warm.
I know that it's corny and everything, but I actually enjoyed that one.
It wasn't too bad.
I watched it on Valentine's Day. You know,
they tried something different. It was kind of, you know,
at least it didn't bedazzle them.
It
was bestiality.
What?
Necrophilia. I mean.
Okay, I was about to say, I think I need to go watch this movie to the zombie boy fucks the dog.
I said bestiality, I meant necrophilia. Fuck.
But here's the thing: she didn't actually have sex with him until his heart started.
True, that is true.
So at least his dick would work. You know, that's the one thing that was didn't make sense with the fucking other zombie love story. Like, how did his dick get hard if his heart isn't pumping blood?
Rigor mortis, of course. Come on.
Rigor mortis, constant boner land.
I want to get at least the 50 of the 100 before we have to end. So let's go. 45 is It Comes at Night, 2017. I haven't seen it.
It's all right. I don't know. It's there was one scene that I was watching it with the teenagers here, and one of the girls jumped, and it was when a random black guy walked by. He had nothing to do with being scary. She jumped, and I was like, that was racist. And she's like, it scared me. And I'm like, you're a racist. And that was the only jump scare. So
is that the monster?
I was like, what's wrong with you? That wasn't even scary. What the fuck?
Well, you know, a scary movie's a lot more scary when you're prepared for it. There's a lot of people that they've talked about in Red Letter Media, being startled. It's not scary. That's startle. You can do that to a baby. You can jingle keys in front of a baby, and they're like, whoa, stimulus. Oh, God. But, you know, to be scary, you got to kind of tap into the mind a bit, and just doing like, bleh, it's not scary.
You just made a couple of people jump that we're watching right now.
Right. I probably killed a few people with a heart attack or something. But, you know.
You know what I want? I want a horror movie with completely a black cast, right? No white people whatsoever, and then hear the black people bitch about the black person dying first. That's what I want.
The thing about that complaint is that Night of the Living Dead, man, he dies last. Well, technically, he dies last. He's the last survivor. Then they shoot him in the head, which was just fucking, you know,
what you do.
Good commentary.
Yeah, have all of the teenagers be black except for the one white friend and have them die first, and then that's comedy gold right there.
Yes, it's true. The next movie, number 46, I've heard about it so many times, so many recommended, and I've never watched it yet. I need to. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
I don't think I've seen that one.
1960. Yeah, I've heard about it many times.
Great acting.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Definitely check it out just for the performance. It's some of the best actresses, you know?
It sounds like another one that's hard to describe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna revisit it, you got to just explain the entire movie. So there's another hour out of your day. You know, it's like, well, it's just good acting.
Okay, number 47, Suspiria, 1977.
One of my favorites. It's so fucking good, and they are making a remake. I'm very afraid of the remake, but
that's 40 years old because I was born in 1977.
It is really weird ambiance. That's what really makes it. It's this girl goes to this dance school, and it turns out it's being run by witches, and they're like gonna kill all the girls. So, but the cool thing about it is the lighting, and it's weird. Like one room, everything's lit blue, and another room, everything's lit red, and it just keeps on changing these weird, creepy colors in the rooms, and it's kind of got that German expressionism weirdness about it. So it's almost like you're just scared because it's a creepy mansion full of weird colored lights.
I like stuff like that, though. I like it where it's not like
it's artistic.
Yeah, I like it where, you know, the feel, it makes you feel creepy instead of, you know, obviously having monsters jump out of people's bellies and shit like that. You know, you just...
There is some brutal, bloody death scenes of beautiful girls, though. I mean, you know, you gotta
kill women. You gotta kill women. And it ain't a horror movie. Yeah, okay, the next one is Eraserhead, 1977. I haven't seen that.
Great one. That is weird. That'll fuck your head up.
It is strange. It will fuck you up. Have you seen it?
I just laughed, but then again, I think the point was probably missed on me a bit. So, but then again, ask somebody to explain Eraserhead. Like, go ahead, try. There you
go. You can. It's very weird to try to. I'm not gonna do it.
It's a mind fuck. That's the only way I can describe it.
It is. The next one's a fucking classic, dude. It's awesome. The Fly, 1986.
Yes.
Good Jeff Goldblum in that one.
Yes.
He's pretty fly for a white guy.
It's interesting seeing somebody like engineer their own destruction, right? And that's horrific in its own, because people do that all the time in a more subtle way.
Great metaphor.
Yeah. You seen it, Red?
Yeah. Who wouldn't like to be able to liquefy their fucking food? Huh? But how handy would that be? It's like roast dinner, just suck it up through a straw. Done, sorted, hit the road. Everything becomes a smoothie.
It's called a blender. It's called a blender.
Yeah.
What if you're out in nature and you're hiking and you feel like having a smoothie? It's just like...
Look, try throwing a whole chicken into a blender and drink it and tell me how that goes through.
That sounds good. Put some French fries in there.
Well, I'm going to try that.
No, don't. There's bones in that. That'll kill you.
Well, debone it.
Oh, yeah, that's... Please do.
Blended
don't
chicken.
drink the bone shards.
That would not feel good coming out.
Shit. Dawn of the Dead, 1979 is number 50.
Good one. Multiple endings on it, actually.
Yes.
That was really cool. You didn't expect the characters to die. The intro is great. Them going through a apartment complex and just like seeing the streets, because you didn't see that in the original Night of the Living Dead. You didn't see like the city, because that's obviously the place that's going to get hit the hardest anytime there's an outbreak of any sort. But being able to see the apartments and how they deal with it, and then escaping somewhere to the mall, and then come in the bikers and all this other stuff, and you get the whole gambit. Like it's the whole shank right there. Little zombie kids along the way, which those little kids look like they were having a blast, getting thrown on the couch and shit.
I love zombie kids, and actually we went to a fucking convention, and Kylie wanted to be a zombie kid, and so she dressed up in the poodle skirt and all that. She did all of her own makeup. She had all these blood effects on her and everything, and she was creepily walking through the fucking convention, and people were actually like, get the like they were ready to kick a baby, you know? They're like, no, zombie kids are not allowed.
I can kick the baby.
Well, that's something kids could act really well as a zombie, because they can relate to being a monster. They love that
shuffle
shit.
a little and tweak out, you know. Oh man, yeah. That's how you freak adults out. If you're a kid, that is how you creep out an adult. A grown-ass man will fucking kick you.
You mentioned it earlier, about the one where the baby and all that. That was a good one. I like that version.
The remake was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was like one of the only remakes that was actually no one had really a problem with. It was actually
great. It was awesome. It was fun.
They didn't bring back any of the characters. It really had nothing. It didn't start out on an apartment complex. Started out on a freeway.
Yeah.
And even one of the zombies that chases them down that's missing an arm, they got a guy who was missing an arm, so they didn't have to have him put him on your back for as hard as you can and try to run at us. All like, don't look at my arm, dude. Don't look at my arm. It's like, no, they got an armless guy, and that guy was fucking bolting, man. That guy could fucking run.
Yeah.
So they also had runners. That was the other thing that they introduced, is that the zombies in that movie weren't slow as shamblers. There was plenty of them that would just fucking bolt at you just like a fucking psycho at a riot.
Yeah.
And, it's increased the scare factor, but didn't destroy the source material.
Yeah.
My favorite is when they're on the top of the mall and they're like naming the zombies after actors and like seeing if you could get them. Like,
here's
that
motherfucker. Here's the part that pissed me off though. Is when they were shooting the zombies from the top. You're just wasting ammo, motherfuckers.
They know they're dead though. They know they're fucked. And they didn't have an escape plan, so they're like, let's like make jokes about this. And that's honestly where I would go. I would go to the dark comedy places if I was trapped in a situation like that. I'd be like,
the
knocking golf balls off the building. They see the gun store across the way, and they send the dog out because they don't go after the animals for some reason, which made sense.
Yeah,
why aren't there animal zombies? Well, they just don't care for dogs. They don't like Chinese food. So it was one of those things where like going, I just think that in there.
Yeah,
but
that was
they had
racist.
objectives.
That was racism.
I don't know. I saw a KFC bucket for Year of the Dog over in China, and I thought that was really funny.
Oh shit! I do love how they ended. I think they ended it right. They did a good job of the way they ended it. It was just honestly, it was just a really good movie. I loved it. So
it
next
set itself up for a sequel, but it didn't need one, so they didn't make one, and nobody cared.
Nobody bitched. Nobody. That's true. Because I'm kind of glad they didn't make it because I would hope if they fucked it up, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
How do you do that on an island? That would make it boring.
Exactly. The next one, Phantom of the Opera, 1925.
That's a good movie.
Yes.
Not old horror to where it was like, this is a psychopath, and he's empathetic, but not, harmless.
Mm-hmm.
But also the special effects, the makeup is really iconic shit that I can't remember who it was who did it, but he did his own makeup every day, which took hours. And so he was an artist, not just in his acting ability, but also in his ability to, create his own character.
Yeah. At this time, we usually start taking Q&A and tips. So we got to 51.
Yeah.
We got to 51. So we got a little over half, one over half. So there you go. But yeah, it was awesome though. Good show, guys.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Taking tips, man. My own show's directionless and almost meaningless, but this whole horror thing actually got me thinking. It's like, hey, why don't we come up with topics once in a while? It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I try to do that. A lot of times we go off reservations until we do like lists like this. But most of the time we'll start talking about like heart surgery and end up talking about fucking chickens.
Hey, that's fine as long as you got a callus to jump from one point to the other. I think that's a mistake I made in my own show to where I'm just like, hey guys,
I could do a second part. I could do a second part to this. We can finish it next week. Oh, not next week because I'm not here next week. We may do that. Red's usually the one that talks about fucking the chicken. So
it's good we had her. It's good we had God, I don't know anybody's name here because I'm an asshole. But we had one horror movie expert here. She was very nice. There we go. I narrowed it down.
I'm Shayra.
Shayra.
She's a cunt. Ah.
Hi, I'm a cunt.
Hey, that's a good opener.
There's nothing finer than Shayra's vagina.
Yeah, don't just break that ice, evaporate it. There you go.
Shayra's like my sister, but I do live in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what
Getting
Oh,
the
damn.
Hills Have Eyes vibe.
You mentioned that,
That's a
dude.
good movie.
Dude, that
The original was good. The
Yeah.
remake fucking blew big giant balls,
It
man.
may have blue balls, but here's the thing: the creepy guy drinking the milk from the chick's tit while the baby's crying in the fucking trailer. That was not okay.
Oh, I know
Not like
lots of
it.
women who will not watch that. They tell me very outright, like they don't say the movie's. They say the movie's bad, but also I'm uncomfortable.
It is very uncomfortable, especially if you are a mom. That scene is not okay. You're like, get me the fuck out of here. I still watched it though.
I think they succeeded in that at least. At least they freaked people out, if nothing else. But
Remember,
other
guys,
than
we're taking tips. We're taking tips, guys. Taking tips. Anyways, it's how I pay my bills. No, I'm joking. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, but here's what made me mad about the remake was the trailer looked awesome.
Yeah.
The trailer was phenomenal. You know, that little kid says, "Want to play with me?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be great." And I went and seen it, and I walked out of that theater like, I was so pissed off.
The second
what you hate
remake was
about it the
horrible.
most?
Everything.
Okay. Well,
Seriously,
never mind.
hey, I don't know, dude. I couldn't relate to the characters for some reason. I couldn't. They didn't draw me in. Nothing. Just. I mean, you know, I want to. When you watch a film, you gotta get.
Future dead family. That's all the character is.
Yeah, we are family. We are blood. We are in danger. Protect the hive.
They're essentially food running around. Like that's the way I look at it. They're being hunted.
Like
But-
you can relate to most of the monsters, even generally,
Yeah.
but in that movie, yeah, it's like, well, I'm not a rapist, and I love my family, and I don't get this.
Uncomfortable.
But before we go, I do want to mention one movie that we didn't get to, and I'm sure it was on the list. But the Last House on the Left.
That's
that was a good
fucked up.
movie.
That's fucked up.
And it's awesome though. I just want to say it's awesome.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I love
but
that
it
movie.
is. I like
is
movies
fucked
that
up.
fuck me up. So
It is fucked. And it will. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like kind of disturbed for a little bit. I was like, oh shit.
yeah, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, why is this film haunting me? That's usually a good sign of a good horror film. So
Hey, if it leaves some kind of memory on you, at least it did that. Because there's plenty of movies that I just completely forget. Somebody brings up the title to me, I'm like, "What's that?" And then they show it to me, I'm like, "Oh, it's that movie."
yeah.
Yeah,
not what it was
Burn
about.
Hour.
Did you guys like the Wrong Turn movies?
I like the first two, but then it's kind of like Saw. They need to kind of quit.
Yeah. It's original was good. The second was and then you're like, stop. Fucking stop.
Yeah.
Hammer Time.
Stop! Write a new movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's starting to
Yes.
suck.
Oh my god. I want to see you do the hammer dance now and get you some like gold pants. It'd be
You
great.
know what? Hey, look, have a nice J.
Oh my god.
I'm sure there's some people who are terrified by MC Hammer.
Yeah.
I am.
A phobia.
That'd be a good horror movie villain. Thinking about it, his name's MC Hammer. He jumps out with parachute pants and bashes your skull in.
Well, you know what's funny is he's actually a preacher now, and he goes on that Christian channel, you know, and he like he's really intense because he's Hammer. So he's like, Jesus God and Jesus, and you're like, all right, you're scary. I'm sorry, Jesus.
I have a lot of debt. This is the cheapest way, no taxes.
So true.
Oh, fuck.
Did you guys know that Red Eye's gay?
Yep.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. What do you usually say? You're not gay, you're heterosexually challenged?
That's correct.
Yes. Shay
And
was a
there's-
punk.
There's nothing.
Oh,
wrong with
now
that,
that you mentioned horror movies, it just struck me. There is a gay slasher film called Hellbent, and I'm always reminded about it. And I watched it. It's not too bad. Like for what it is, for what it's worth, it's pretty good.
Oh, there's one better. LA Zombie. That's a horror porn. A gay horror porn.
Sexy as fuck.
Perfect.
And
I like when
it's,
horror just like drops itself into genres it shouldn't be in.
just have a look at on YouTube LA Zombie movie trailer, and it's got a 3-minute clip of some of the shorts, and it's got a bunch of scenes where it just gets weirder and weirder, and by the end of it, it's like there's people covered in there's a room full of people that were dressed up as gimps. They're all been sort of half eaten and dead, and fucked to death, and yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Blood is
That sounds
lube.
like actually hellish. Like that's a hellish theme. People getting fucked to death and ripped apart and shit. So yeah, it's scary.
By an alien zombie.
Perfect. An alien zombie.
An alien zombie.
Just add one more layer on it. I love
Can it
that.
be a zombie alien?
Well, it just depends on your perspective, I guess.
Wait, was
What's
it
the
an
pronoun
alien?
again?
Was it an alien that came down to Earth and then became a zombie, or was it a zombie alien somewhere else and then landed on Earth?
Is it the ghost of the zombie alien's curse?
I think it was an actual zombie alien. It's just all rolled into one big nasty fucked up package.
But
That is so fucking stupid.
It sounds like a tagline.
It's quite a dumb movie, but the fact I think it was just a porn movie, and they went, "Hey, let's put some horror elements in it and see if we can market it as something stupid." And they all went, "Yeah, why not? Fuck it." And they
They're
paid.
gonna blow the loads in the first 2 minutes. May as well get something to keep them watching.
Speaking of, the scariest movie I've ever seen was the E.T. porn made back in the day.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, that
Pikachu.
Ow.
The Pokemon one with Pikachu painted all yellow. That is much more disturbing. I don't know. The ET one was pretty ugly, but the
it looked like a
Pikachu-
turd.
Yeah. There's some creepy porn out there.
Yeah.
Maybe
The
that's
fu-
what you could do. The scariest porn. That would be a good list for you.
Yeah,
to
but
do.
the greatest one was the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles.
Oh fuck that!
I love that one. It was funny,
Yeah, that is funny.
and they
Actually-
actually did a good job in it.
What is the name of the people that do those specific kinds of porn? It was like Rocket something. I can't remember, but they basically take all of the stuff from our childhood and turn it into porn, and you get to watch it and laugh. So,
Well, speaking of which, I do got one fact. They did make a movie called Super Hornio Brothers, and Nintendo bought it. They couldn't get it not made. They couldn't go to the patent office and say, "Hey, we own this," and they're just like, "No, you don't." So they're like, "Okay, guys, I know you really want to have Mario and Luigi banging Princess Peach, but we're just gonna buy it from you. How's $1 million sound?" They're like, "Oh yeah, all right." So sitting over in Nintendo in Japan's a VHS tape of Super Hornio Brothers that Miyamoto's probably watched 90 times, just laughing his ass off.
The Back to the Future one was pretty good. She went back. She had sex with her parents and herself.
Oh fuck!
There you go. You know, I'm sure a lot of people watching Back to the Future like, "Do it, Marty, do it."
fuck your mom.
All right. Well, it is time to go. Thanks, guys, for not tipping. I appreciate it.
Womp womp.
We'll see you tomorrow. Pimp Isha will be the guest host. See you
la la.
then.